Welcome back to the LCS Championship Grand Finals delivered by Grubhub. And as much as Cloud9 fans, I know I respect you for up for the 3-0. Who wants to see more games? We got a lot to do here today. Cloud9 have been dominant. In fact, if they get about a 25-minute victory, exact time I'll read in a second, it'll be the fastest finals in LCS history. I love casting. I don't care who wins, I just want to see more games.
I just hope everyone has fun.
I hope everyone has fun.
It's 25:56. 25 minutes and 56 seconds is the time trial that Cloud9 will have to beat to get the award for the fastest LCS finals of all time.
And we'll see it. I mean, they're going to be happy if they win, no matter how fast or how slow it is. But Cloud9 has looked incredibly dominant through the first two games. Second game feeling even more impressive, not just because it ended faster, but because they actually were playing from 3,000 gold down relatively early on and still closed out in, what, 24, 25?
Until Blaber flipped the switch. Wukong engage after Wukong engage for Cloud9, and they just win. So, all junglers still available here. Yuumi finds its way onto the ban list, which is a big change.
Exactly, no more Yuumi for Zven. That's what they're targeting as the issue. LeBlanc going to be banned out as well. We're still probably looking at the potential of that Sivir and Zeri trade. Lulu does become more high prio though if you actually want to go towards one of those enchanters. Of course, huhi could respond with an enchanter of his own, such as the Soraka showed in game 5 of the series yesterday.
Already saying, hey, Blaber, we trusted you on the Wukong, and we still like Zven on high priority enchanters. You want a mid laner, go for it. You want a top laner, go for it. It's what we value. Taliyah hit the ban phase last time, grabbed early here for Abbedagge.
This champ has been big for 100 Thieves and for Abbedagge, really allowing him to help out those side lanes like no other. See if it's enough here to push it to another game.
The one time 100 Thieves beat Cloud9 in the postseason. This record, by the way, is 1-5. He was 8-0-9 on this Taliyah, and closer was on Poppy. So they got 2/5 of the comp already of the one they had against Cloud9 back in the upper bracket.
Absolutely, we got to see them actually play this Poppy Taliyah against EG as well. Something that they really did like. You can set up the wall comes in, Poppy slams someone into it, you look for that hard engage, the pincer moves. When you are first to set up at an objective, it becomes very difficult to approach because you know Taliyah is going to be looking for this angle to wall you off and then go.
All right, huhi absorbing bans down there in support role. Cloud9 trying to take out those engage supports again. He has been such a big playmaker. 400 Thieves definitely agree with the choice.
And I think they're just going to ban Ornn again, right? It has been something that they've been wanting to keep off the table. Interesting. So instead, they're going to go for the Renekton here. I wonder if they then go Aatrox on 4 and kind of throw down the gauntlet a little bit. We know that he's willing to play Fiora though, so it does become kind of risky. So it's just interesting. Like, is he going to be the one to go Ornn?
Yeah, I feel like Fiora is a bigger counter pick as well.
Yeah.
So let's see, the blind will be first here. This is going to be actually mid lane matchup for sure. You're already seeing Taliyah. Last time around, Jensen did play the Anivia to it, and even though they lost, still did think he was a very good Anivia.
Oh, and it's Zilean again. They're happy to send him home early.
I mean, they're basically just running it back, right? They're trying to get as similar of a composition as they can. Mid jungle going to be staying the same. Of course, there is a swap up in the bot lane. No more Yuumi. It is the Lulu there instead, but their Sivir is the same. Alistar would make a lot of sense if you're looking for that type of engaged support, if it's not going to be an enchanter answer. And it is the blind Fiora once more. And we do have to remember, Ssumday was getting the better of Fudge in this Jax matchup on top side. So what is the answer now?
Meanwhile, on the bottom side too, really good last pick here, 400 Thieves. Again, the Alistar to the Sivir, one of those classic ones. Always going to be able to get off your combo onto the Sivir regardless of spell shield. And huhi, the importance of this guy for being the engage for this team is everything. That Alistar is the primary engage for this 100 Thieves team. huhi came up big yesterday for this team when they needed him, and he's going to have to again.
Absolutely did. So it's 5th pick Gnar here, so not the most exciting, not really a counter, it's more of an answer. Did not feel comfortable with how the Jax game went. And I do think it's a good decision to swap it up here. Now, the Gnar's job is not going to be to dominate this lane. It's more to just absorb pressure to set themselves up for a better situation later on.
I am honestly worried for 100 Thieves here because this iteration of Champion Select is a lot like the previous one, but with some small positive, I feel like, tweaks for Cloud9. Fudge on a more stable laner up there, doesn't have to go so aggressively, can play very, very defensively on the Gnar. We'll see though, Blaber had an outstanding performance. Can he actually repeat that?
And can 100 Thieves, with their mid-jungle, be more proactive, right? With the Taliyah, with the Poppy, can they get out on the map and really make something happen? Because if they can put the Fiora way ahead, Fiora can chase down a mini-Gnar, can really burst you down. And I think that may be what they're looking to focus on.
Well, we head into game 3, and I know Nate Shot of 100 Thieves would love to win a title in his hometown. The McDonald's he worked at in high school is a couple miles down the road. This means so much to him, but for now, 100 Thieves have only 1 star in the jersey and 0 wins in this series. Cloud9 looking for the 3-0. Let's see it. Will we have a reverse sweep? Will Cloud9 close it here? Let's find out. Game 3 begins. Summoner's Rift once again, blue side for 100 Thieves, hoping they have made the adaptations needed to withstand the assault from Cloud9 so far.
We have not had a single 3-0 all playoffs long, and we're into the finals with such a massive early start for Cloud9, but this playoffs has taught me, always look for the comeback angles. So 100 Thieves, they got to put it all on the line, backs against the wall here to try and push this series forward.
And while we haven't had any of those 3-0s, it has been Cloud9 that have often been the ones avoiding the 5th game. They're winning 3-1. They're not the ones actually going to Silver Scrapes.
And again, we set the time trial. Cloud9, you are faced with a 25-minute, 56-second timer.
Yep.
If you can win the game before that, you also get the accolades of the fastest LCS finals ever.
Yeah, to be clear, 57 is tie, 56 is win from what I was told, so that is the number you're looking for. See if they can get it right now. I love the tweets. No way they come back from a 0-2.
Oh, the evade.
Already, huhi gets a triple stun, gets a slow as well, and is able to flash to safety. Glacial, like a bit more space, now Red is attacked.
But Closer did the Raptors. He's level 2. He doesn't have Smite, though.
And
but
they know.
Blaber, does he know? I don't know that they spotted it.
Scoreboard should always show you there's only 4 charges on the fight left, so this is always knowable. And it's why Cloud9's like, dog, if it doesn't switch aggro, but the tackle make it switch aggro, Blaber's low, he spikes for health, Zven gets the kill credit. And now they're back on. Ignite is on. First blood goes to Zven as well. Blaber flashed to safety. FBI stuck in the pit. Abbedagge flashed for a bit more. Level 2 means damage. Blaber can't go in just yet. They keep fighting. Abbedagge forced out by Zven's red buff. Jensen can't land the bomb.
Oh my goodness, it's insanity! In the start of game number 3, Cloud9 with the sneaky red buff invade and spend. Swapping over to support. Guess what? He could jungle too. He gets it with the Glitter Lance auto there on the red buff, and he also gets the first blood kill.
It's just Armageddon at the red buff, but Closer, he is level 2. Blaber had to base, and now he's going to have to start so late at level 1. His Raptors are going to be gone. He's going to be doing a leashless level 1 start at 3 minutes into the game, so Blaber is way behind.
And Closer gonna leverage that. When you have a jungle advantage like this, you know that the Wukong did not steal the red buff, so still level 1, so he takes away Raptors as well. Closer way far ahead in the 1v1.
Blaber gets info. Again, no red onto him. He's got a level deficit. He's able to kill the control ward. That's worth XP, by the way. He gets his first XP of the game. I guess sharing the kill matters a bit there, but he's going to be unperturbed going for his own red buff.
Exactly, and Phreak is going to lose out on the first crab. Goes over to Closer.
I do like Zven roaming up here, though. You've got to protect him. You know, Zven is the one who actually got ahead from this. He got the kill. He got the red buff. So, you know, moves up, protects Blaber on this first clear. And it looks like he's potentially even going to continue, you know, moving out, trying to get a little bit of vision before going back down towards bot lane and grouping up with Berserker, who already has an extra longsword himself.
A true support supports the whole team, not just the AD carry. He's coming in here to help out the jungle as well after taking that red buff, making sure the coast is clear on the bottom side as well, while Berserker is honestly playing this bottom lane quite easily. Is a big CS lead here for FBI in the early stages. But also remember, all these summoner spells were blown early.
Of course, but yeah, 1v2. I don't know if the Lulu was actually spotted, but either way, he's been back pretty far. Early recall for the extra longsword there. Do you want to point out, though, that Fudge was forced to take an early teleport recall? Maybe he wanted it for boots, or I don't know if he actually got low first, but I mean, a very, very early TP back to top lane, just for boots 1, the refillable. And Ssumday, still with the CS lead, has complete control of when he wants to go back.
Yeah, it's really unlikely that he wanted to go back that early, so probably took a rough trade. You know, we didn't really get to see what was going on up in that top lane while we were watching down towards bot. Tier 2 boots rush, pretty common though, in these types of range versus melee matchup. That move speed so important, not only to retreat, but also to be able to chase down Fiora if she goes too aggressive.
I'm looking for what Closer can do specifically here in this game 3 to really set up 100 Thieves for success. They've got the Alistar in the bottom lane. Huhi, these engages, has Ignite up as well. They could try and force something around this area of the map. It would take that focus away from the top lane and allow, you know, isolated Fiora matchup up there for Ssumday to get to work.
Nice riposte. It's going to be the jump away. So both playing well on reaction, riposte the stun, leap away from the riposte stun. You get enough time to see it coming, and well played on both sides.
Really nicely done, as we kind of expect from these two top laners, you know, two of the very best. And these, I would say, you know, are the guys in playoffs who are most willing to go towards these aggressive counters, right? Who are really willing to punish. Fudge being the first to kind of throw down that gauntlet of the Fiora, and Ssumday really picking up where he left off, bringing it out in their series yesterday, bringing it out 2 games here, flying today. If you have the mechanics, if you have the confidence to bring out the Fiora, it is a very difficult champion to punish.
So Ssumday takes the very aggressive recall TP, gets Sheen and gets a longsword, and says, I could walk it back. The wave would slow push toward me. It'd be a cannon wave, it wouldn't lose much, but says, no, I prioritize the XP and gold as much as possible. Teleport is down. It will be up by the time they're unleashed, but says, I want to get that last little bit of CS. Level 6 coming basically this wave.
And Closer, I think he's also looking at what he can do right now. Early investment into movement speed here.
Really good damage. Jensen holds the ulti, though, as Blaber goes in for more damage. Be careful, though, Closer. Going for a bit more. Will there be any surprise damage? Jensen holding the ulti. Not too much going on just yet. A bomb onto his jungler. Blaber goes in for the trade. Wants to hit him. Nearly the kill. Summoner heal. He flashes, and he delivers the bomb. And it's going to be the revive as well. So Closer knows that Jensen could be the target. Q flash lands. Otto gets the kill. And Closer to retreat, but he's going to make it a 1-for-1.
Oh, that was a necessary counter kill there from Closer. He chases down Jensen with those boots of swiftness, gets the kill and the flash out of the Zilean. You have to think, if it wasn't for that there, 100 Thieves would have to be head in hands.
Absolutely, but still, Jensen getting ahead off this, gets a great buy, has the lost chapter here, so his laning is going to be so comfortable. The crowd loves it. Blaber gritting the crab here. And he's going to get the experience passive from Zilean as well. So even though he was put behind early, Zilean can donate experience to still try to get Blaber to a quick level 6.
I'd love to see Blaber and Jensen going back to their roots. These two at the very beginning, when they first played together, Zilean Kindred, the matchup, jungle carry with the Zilean mid. And the communication is on point in their tower dive. We know this whole time, Jensen is level 6, so you're just waiting. When is he going to go all in here for the play? And that's why Closer has to back out here. And then even under tower, Blaber getting so aggressive trying to get these chunks because Jensen's saying, go for it, I've got you with the revive.
Yep, flashes in, gets the auto, lands the Q, then Closer, you know, with the Swifty boots, chasing in, Q flash, gets the auto, Jensen tries to react with the flash, but once that auto attack's going, it's going, and you go down.
Exactly, he had to flash way, way earlier there to try and get out of danger, but always trying to save cooldowns.
Yeah, the timing was so tight for Abbedagge too. He burned his flash at level 2 to fight Ivor in the red buff, and the flash itself would have made him live against the time bomb second, but I'm not sure it was quite available. Sure, it's up now, but timing would have been tight at around 7 minutes into the game as they were fighting. Ssumday and Fudge again fighting over the wave, though it should be Ssumday with the lead. Sidesteps the ulti from Fudge.
This is such a rough spot for Fudge. He wants to get the wave in, but there are 2 roaming members of 100 Thieves.
Here comes the rest, though. Fudge does have flash. Now, can he get rid of all of it? Gets away from one, and there's the flash pull. The tackle back, they're gonna get it. Ssumday flash to get into range. They can just hand him the kill. Maybe one more summoner than was needed, but it puts the game back close for 100 Thieves.
And it's a perfect timing on this double roam. Jungle plus support roam up as the big wave is right in front of the tower, and you know Fudge is sweating, thinking, I gotta crash it, but I'm vulnerable.
Yep, absolutely. Ssumday pulling that wave, you know, just trimming it just enough and threatening that all in so Fudge can't actually get the reset, and then playing that out very, very well. Now they're going aggressive onto Closer, trying to get a bit of a punish. Zven making his own support roam up here.
got no smite, though. Should be a freebie for Blaber. 1 HP, and it's claimed up, but now the team fight is what matters there. Is there an eviction? Yes, to get rid of the Wukong. He's got a second ulti available. Besides,
he wanted that ticket out. He got a free ticket out. That was a little bit dangerous there. Cloud9 escaping with their lives off the blue buff attempt.
But look at everyone's coming up now. Zeri is moving up here. FBI moving up. Berserker has arrived as well. We're potentially looking at a straight up 5v5 for this Herald.
He's going to reset one more time right now. Cloud9 not able to go for it just yet, as Berserker and Zven will knock down the wave. FBI something similar. 100 Thieves own the river.
And there's a big wave on top lane. Fudge already behind NCS, so he wants to go grab the wave in front of his tower. They're just going to send their bottom lane back to bottom and try and collect the minions. You know, it's not worth the flip here during Rift Herald, especially with the extra chunk of damage that Blaber did take and having no ultimate on Wukong for the team fight.
On our way to a small gold lead now, 100 Thieves side. Cloud9 up by a little bit, but 300 for the Herald. Feels pretty good. Closer will knock down his own crab. Come on, 100 Thieves, want to hear it. You got it.
Honestly, I let the focus. The focus is more on the crab exchange than the dragon exchange. To the other side of the map there, Cloud9 are going to take the bigger of the neutral objectives here and pick up the buff.
Always better, Kobe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was 2 crabs to 1 dragon. That feels, you know, value-wise like chess pieces, you know? 15 to 5 maybe, who knows? But right now, 100 Thieves still in a very tight game. Cloud9 up the Drake.
And look at Fudge again. This wave is actually in a horrible spot, and unbeknownst to him, Closer is behind him, right? So if he actually tries to reset this wave too heavily, Closer is going to wrap around behind him, and that's why Jensen is moving up. That's why Zven is moving up, because Cloud9 have the read that 100 Thieves are going for this play.
And you're going to see the heavy trade here. Ulti out from Ssumday. 4th shot, will he land it? And he's going to stop him up, and that means to get the damage. But now the revive comes through. But Zven being here makes it tough. They will not find the stun, but there won't be a kill either. On time was Jensen.
Both teams recognizing, again, these pulled waves by Ssumday are an objective in themselves. So as you say, Cloud9 send the reinforcements, and with the Zilean ultimate, they actually stop the really nice play from Closer there.
And this is basically just proper play on both sides. 100 Thieves now overloading the top side here. Abbedagge, huhi, Closer, and Ssumday, everyone up towards top.
4v3, no Zilean ult. Fudge close to Gnar, flashes away, a knock up. Huhi can take the tower for a while, and they send back one. Here come the kills. Jensen should drop, but here's the re-engage. Stopwatch for Abbedagge. Gonna try to find the kill on the top side. Fudge able to trade back on a Closer. 1 for 1, a couple of plates claimed. Cloud9 answers the play.
Interesting too, because look at the AD carries. They had Berserker walking all the way up to the fight, so he pushes mid-wave before circling back and trying to get there in time for FBI, who gets alone time with the turret, starts to take off a turret plate of his own, so even more money.
Yeah, I actually think this was really smart, though, from Berserker, because he actually pushes out mid, then gets bought in time using the Ghost to actually collect a lot of that wave. So he's getting the additional experience. They're denying some from Abbedagge. Yes, FBI is afforded time to get that turret plate, but overall, golden XP, I think it's the right move.
And I'm pretty sure in almost all cases, a wave is better than a plate. It's a bit less gold if it's not a cannon, but it's more XP by a lot.
I will say it did look like Abbedagge using the Taliyah passive on the side of the wall, got back in time for the experience of the wave.
That's important then. We get attacking on the top side. Here's Zven, definitely gonna be a bit of a target there. No ulti, but has flash. Will he burn it? Fiora ult is on. Can he get out? Flashes back over behind his friend. They will stay alive.
So much action back and forth on this top side. Both these teams, though, surviving. The game feels like it's balanced on a knife's edge right now. One big team fight going one way or the other could really swing this series very, very heavily.
And again, since we do have the Zilean in the game again, the timing from Jensen, speeding up Blaber and looking for these engages with that Wukong, and the safety of an extra life, just allow one of the players in our league that is known for the craziest, most aggressive plays, more authority to take them.
And I do have to say, you know, if this game continues at this pace, if it continues to stay close, I do really like Cloud9's position. Having that Enchanter, having the Zilean as well to buff up Berserker is going to give him a monumental advantage over his counterpart FBI and how he can play out these team fights. It's just going to be so damn tough to deal with them.
And on the other side, for 100 Thieves, guess what? It's a similar story. The Fiora with the lead. Divine Sunder is done for Ssumday again. He is the point of power for 100 Thieves.
And that's why it's going to be up to Cloud9 to try to control these dragons, control these objectives, to pull Ssumday out of the side lane and force him to 5v5, which is where they want to be.
Well, on the side lane is Ssumday, who's honestly 2-0, but the goal probably relatively close based on the fact that farm versus kills. Ooh, a really nice combo though, Zven. Gonna self-ult, doesn't have flash, drops. Huhi takes the kill, and he can kite out. FBI safe enough for now, but has to respect the rest of the damage out of Berserker. Kills the wards, 100 Thieves get the pick.
They take matters into their own hands, find themselves some more gold, slowly increasing this lead, and then getting right back through those waves, push them immediately. This also means they got vision of Blaber, so Ssumday on the top lane there, that Fiora gets to push into the tower, knows he can't get ganked by jungle.
And this is why they went for the Taliyah. They want to be more active in these early stages. They want to be able to shove the waves, move towards sides, create action on their own terms, because they had felt like Cloud9 was the one really dictating the pace, and Jensen now looking for the slowdown double bomb.
Dodging many of it. Will they get the shove back or anything? Just some damage. Overall takes the better of that trade by a couple hundred health. But as Jensen's back under his tower, he'll be sharing farm with Zven. And a recall out of Abbedagge can always Walser back to the lane here. Top lane farm advantage is with Fudge. Again, 2-0 versus 1-1. The question is, can Ssumday get the rest?
It's interesting because Ssumday want to index into the split pushing there, take down these towers, whereas Fudge here with the Gnar pick is looking for the team fights with the rest of the Cloud9 squad, trying to be that beefier front line. So as Dragon comes up, 100 Thieves are the ones getting the first foot into the river for the vision to set it up. Huhi has been their playmaker. Huhi has been the one wrapping around, looking for these flanks on the Alistar, trying to start that fight.
And when you're playing this style of composition here with 100 Thieves, the first swing in that teamfight is going to mean so much. Denying vision, landing the Taliyah wall as they try to come in, cutting them off and finding the engage off of this. Abbedagge is on the top side of your screen, looking for that wall to zone them out.
Blaber and ult though, stunned in place though, good damage, jumps right back out, and there's the wall, separates him, locks him in place, shoves him back, you'll get the res, but will the rest of it matter though? Is there a fight? Closer drop, he's got a smite for a heal, or the Drake would kill him on Agros, he'll stay alive, but a huge Mega Gnar from Fudge gets two, staying alive in the front line, Blaber has to run, Fudge low, but 100 Thieves withstand for now. Berserker happy to keep hitting. Can he get the ricochets? Closers one it away. Blaber finds the kill. The ricochet gets the second. And Cloud9 do not care what your early game gold lead is, because they fought and died over the river, and they will win it again.
And they get the Cloud Dragon on top of it. My goodness, those front line health bars got so low, kiting backwards at the last second with their flashes.
You look at those low health bars, but then you see Berserker protected in the back line, afforded the time to get those autos out here, and that is the problem here. But the setup was good for 100 Thieves. They get the Taliyah wall down, and they look for the engage, but it's Jensen arriving in time that helps to bail them out.
And it's the perfect Zilean counter here. Yeah, you shove back Blaber, full combo used on him. He just gets the Zilean revive. So at that point, they are winning the cooldowns here for Cloud9. You see Closer into the Dragon Pit, barely escaping with his life. So then it's a relative 5v4 in the actual fight.
Absolutely, but then you look at Berserker, no one is touching this man. Fudge buying space in the front line. Both sides getting incredibly low. Closer down very low. Blaber flashing out at low health. Everyone is low, but we're back to live. We're scrapping.
We're fighting again, this time on the top side. Blaber gonna be the target, getting it low. Will there be a res? Who's gonna be the target? Already they've killed off Closer, and they're just fine into this one. Cloud9 having to fight again and again and again. Huhi dives on in, sets them up. Will they get the knockdown? Zilean ult is down. Finally one on the board, but it's already traded back. On the sides is Fudge. Gets the stun, but it's riposted. Ssumday goes for broke, and his ankles are exactly that. 3 kills for Cloud9, losing only 2, and they get the 4th. FBI, it's time to run away.
It's a bloodbath, and Berserker is swimming in the Thieves. Cloud9 take over Summoner's Rift.
These two enchanters behind Berserker, Zilean and the Lulu, speeding him up, sending him in, and the Cloud9 carry is reigning supreme over the Thieves.
The rookie here for Cloud9, Berserker on the Sivir. So much work being done. Here's another setup as it's Huhi gets the combo onto Blaber into the seismic shove.
And honestly, 100 Thieves got a lot of confidence because the Zilean ult is popped here, and they don't really get a revive. So they say, all right, we can actually go for the play. This is when they call for the TP. In comes Fiora, who's backed away from the Gnar, and then Huhi goes for it, flashing in, finding that engage. They decide to dive deep and try to knock him down.
It's so close down to the last second here because we get a big amount of burst damage onto Fudge, and Ssumday says, this is it. we've got to win now. We've got to go for it. So they trade top laners 1-for-1 in the aftermath there after Raposa's already down. That just leaves Berserker with 2 enchanters behind him, 2 supports, buffing him up, speeding him up to chase down 100 Thieves.
And he only popped the Sivir ultimate at that very moment, at the end of the fight there. Gets the ulti ready, and look at the damage. The health bars may be close, but if you are not stopping Berserker, you are not winning the fight. And this guy is getting so far ahead now. Nearly an entire item up on his counterpart. He's got the PD.
What an absolute phenom. Rookie, by the way, coming into the LCS and turning heads. They're gonna find Jensen as the target. Has the revive, they may let him hit it. And they're gonna put a stopwatch. But will there be the answer? Yes, Closer gets 1 kill, but the return is already there. 1-for-1, huhi, an easy target, knocked up. Will Blaber get the kill? He's got reinforcements. Blaber might not make his way through. And 100 Thieves get their 2nd kill, getting that little bit closer.
100 Thieves fighting back, but in the meanwhile, it is Fudge in the top lane pushing up for this tier 2. There's no one there to answer him. So he may even be able to knock that down, and while they did get a couple kills, Berserker gets one back of his own. And the gold still staying heavily in the favor of Cloud9. FDX gold advantage now up to almost 4,000.
Non-stop action in the finals here in Chicago. You can hear it with every play. Berserker gonna get even more money with the isolated tower take afterwards. So a lot of objectives here won by Cloud9 despite the 2-2 kill trade for 100 Thieves.
4,000 gold, 2-0 and Drake's the 3rd one coming soon. And C9 never shy away from a fight in the river. I mean, what is Drake but a giant flying crab? And we know Cloud9 will be fighting for that again.
Berserker is #1 most wanted champion on 100 Thieves kill list here. Everything for 100 Thieves should be focused on trying to find that kill, that pick onto Berserker. Even burning some summoner spells first so they can get an opening. Huge bounty on his head. Everybody in the game is looking at him.
And the big problem is he has both summoners available here. He will be difficult to pin down with a Lulu and the Zilean behind him. But this is a key moment in the game here. Blaber going forward, he's looking for it.
He's gonna flash engage, knock it to there. Will they get the rest of the kill though? Abbedagge still attacked. The double hit back by Closer. Buys some time, but it's gonna be ground beef from the 100 Thieves support. Huhi is down. The Drake is coming up, and Cloud9 should be guaranteed #3.
They get a kill on the side there. Huhi down, double summoners down on Abbedagge. Cloud9 will move to Soul Point here. The Poppy ult was good, but it was not buying them enough time to really get anything done.
It's hard to see how you stop this Cloud9 momentum. So much building here in this series. 4,000 gold ahead. Soul Point on the way. Berserker performing magnificently on the big stage here with all the pressure, all the noise from the crowd, and he loves it.
25:57, the time to beat for the fastest ever LCS final. And though 100 Thieves' birthplace may be Chicago thanks to Nate's shot, Cloud9 about to evict them with how heavily they are slaughtering the competition in this final.
And Cloud9's improvement has just been incredible. You look back to even that first playoff series against CLG, it was close. That next level that they really just shot towards when they played against EG, when they played against 100 Thieves the first time around, was nothing short of astounding. This team has come together at just the right time, peaking deep into playoffs here, and looking like no one in the LCS can touch them.
A top laner comes a mid laner, comes back to a top laner. They lose their support and former top over the previous split. Jensen comes out of retirement, made worlds again, by the way. Zven role swaps because he wants to be on a team good enough to win a title. Zven, the difference maker in a team being good enough to win a title.
Sounds to me like the systems are working as intended, fellas. Cloud9, never doubting here. Let's see if they can finish it out, though. Objective bounties are on the map to show just how big of a lead it is.
And they're clearing out vision here around the bear, and there's just that one deep ward on the other side of the pit, but 100 Thieves have no vision in the pit, so they're trying to push in, but Blaber's looking for the flank.
And here comes Blaber. He's going to see everyone in his eye. A quick tackle for Closer. Buys some time. FBI is untouched. Abbedagge wants back in, though. Huhi flashed into safety, but can the AD carries do it? Fudge pops off! off, he sets up 2. Zven stays alive, a double kill for the Gnar, and Blaber just revives. Jensen happy to mark Abbedagge for now, but maybe they still find the kill. The bombs come in, and the kills follow suit. Ssumday gonna drop a double kill for Berserker. The rookie becomes the raid boss. The ace comes through, and once again, Cloud9 take no prisoners.
Berserker goes godlike, and Cloud9 will take the Baron and surely take the title now.
You can hear the celebrations already beginning as the Baron recalls go off. Cloud9 will reset, and they will get right back to business.
If they're speed running, they got a minute 30 to make it happen.
Fudge is celebrating with them, hands in the air already.
He was chanting with the crowd. They can feel the rumble on stage of the Chicago Cloud9 fans behind them.
What a path this year it has been for Cloud9. Coaching changes at the beginning, all the role swaps, but now it's just clean League of Legends.
It's the explosive engage again there from Blaber, denied very well by Closer, but as Fudge hits Mega, he sees the window, flashes in, gets the Mega Gnar on 2, and that felt like it sealed it. Abbedagge did his best fighting from this position, was getting so much damage out. As the ulti was used on Blaber, you think maybe he can make something happen here on a Jensen as he lands the seismic shove. But Zven is there, bailing him out with the ulti, and as the Cloud9 carries close in on Abbedagge, their dreams in this fight start to fade.
And it's a clean ace. No Cloud9 member going down. The Zilean revives, the stopwatch comes through. They use that wall by blue buff so effectively. Both Zven and Jensen baiting them against it.
He wants it, and that was basic cooldowns. He pressed W, Jensen pressed E, Zven pressed W. Those are all back by now. And FBI flashes or ults and runs for the hills.
And still, Berserker sitting on that flash. They have been unable to force it. Blaber's going in!
He's gonna try again. Bit of time bot, but they still get the front line. huhi dies to the ulti, but they trade one back. A crucial kill, an overstep. The raid boss is down. He's dropping purple minions everywhere, but 100 Thieves bought some time.
Closer's not done. That Poppy ultimate changed the game. He boots out Zilean. No revive there on Blaber as he's dying to the tower. 100 Thieves, they're trying to keep themselves alive here.
Closer trying his damnedest, rejecting the engage there from Blaber, then booting out the Zilean, as you say, gets them those kills, gets them the big shutdowns. But still, even with that, Soul is spawning here in 10 seconds. Can they get out to actually stop it? Let's watch the replay one more time as Blaber finds Eagle, but he's spotted on the ward as he goes in, and Closer tackles him back out. He gets knocked by huhi, and then it's the ulti here from Closer, knocking out multiple members. Berserker's already in deep. The flash tackle there, the 1K shutdown. We're fighting for Soul.
It's gotta be this one. It's go for broke for 100 Thieves. Fudge harrying on the sides. He's got Mega Gnar. That's gonna be hard to fight against. FBI can't really dodge it. Look at Ssumday, the solos here from 100 Thieves. Back on the wings, in the river. More damage lands from Fudge. I mean, he has the entire backline spotted himself as mid's pushing in. You can always go for the tower. And 100 Thieves just turn tail and run.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, they were thinking there. Maybe there's an opening while the Sivir is dead. They finally got a kill on the Berserker. Maybe they could get this quick Dragon Steal, but they delay too long. Cloud9 get Fudge immediately back out there. They stop the comeback in its tracks.
House of the Dragon Soul played there by C9. Jensen immediate TP towards top lane, knocks down the tier 2, extending the gold lane to a cool 10,000. They go back to base. They buy all the luxury items here, and they will close in on 100 Thieves and look to finish up this game. Stopwatch available on Berserker. Stopwatch available on Fudge. Cloud9 can feel it. They are so close now.
Blaber on his own wards. Able to see Ssumday coming in and says, I'm actually behind you, buddy, but no reinforcements yet. Come into the base. The final purchases, 2 minutes until Baron comes up, but you have to believe they may just end it before then. Stopwatch still broken for Jensen, but a Magi's with 10 stacks in inventory.
This is so big for Cloud9 as an organization. They have always been the team for spring, and summer has been a nightmare. But here, really emphatically, strongly finishing They're at the gates, almost there.
The only summer title this team has ever won was the first split they entered into the LCS many years ago.
The Cloud9 dynasty, we're on the way to it. And so early on, it was, well, everyone takes turns winning between TSM winning some more. And then you had an engage on the mid lane as Blaber's clone will die. And you had Team Liquid winning 4 back to back to back to back. And you split back and forth while the Cloud9, a repeat winner, looking for their 4th title, the 3rd in as many years. Now the engage is on to Ssumday, buys a 2nd, and that's all he'll get. They trade back, Berserker's on to the Nexus Towers, cannot kill FBI. He's low, he's not quite dead, and the Hellfire remains. A triple kill for a man true to his name. They will knock down the towers, and it's FBI left alone as he will watch his base die. Cloud9 find a rookie AD carry out of Korea, and he will do everything to uplift his team. On a role swap support, on Jensen out of retirement, on Blaber shaking off his demons. Cloud9, the most dominant team in the LCS, have won their 4th title. Would you most like to send to Worlds? Everyone, unbiased, says it's Cloud9. The best international team is Cloud9. Who do you send to Worlds? You send Cloud9. For the first time since 2013, they head to Worlds as LCS champions.
What a way to end it. The unofficial penta coming through there for Berserker. Fudge hoisting the trophy. Has been a man on a mission since his swap back to top lane. This team absolutely deserves it. They have peaked at the exact right time. They have showcased the heights that they can rise to, and it is far beyond the competition.
They have ramped up this whole playoffs, improving constantly, coming together as one to deliver us the 3-0 of the entire playoffs with a dominant win here.
And I have to commend grit and determination. Max Waldo did not start the year as the head coach, right? Coaching staff changed, he stepped into the role, and Cloud9 under his leadership have become, for the first time in 9 years, a summer championship team. We think back to them heading to the World semifinals, beating a Phreak of Phreaks. The first time the LCS ever made World semis. Blaber was on that team. Jensen was on that team. They're coming back with a vengeance. Fudge looked incredible when he first went international on Cloud9. Top lane at MSI was stellar.
Not to mention Jensen, 8 straight Worlds.
World
made
record.
MSI finals, made World semis. These are players we can be proud to send to represent our region. Should be proud to have them as the LCS champions. We have seen that the ceiling for this team is incredibly high, but we don't yet know the limits. They are improving by leaps and bounds week after week after week, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Beautiful to see them celebrating on the stage this time as well, when they won Spring at home. Huge, huge stuff for everyone involved.
And Berserker's a rookie, man. Like, that is excellent scouting. This dude
The future is bright.
Oh, it is a bright future for Cloud9. Even Azael hanging out, love to see that. This team has an incredibly high ceiling.
And it's so exciting to see these rookies rising up. Spring was Danny's, but summer belongs to Berserker. This playoff run from this man, the amount of confidence they have in him was incredible and was shown to be correct, was shown that he deserves that faith in him, that he can take over the game when they need it.
Still so impressed with the role swap from Zven as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of AD carries, slotting in instantly as a support, drawing multiple bans here, handling the meta on both enchanters and engaged champions. Cloud9, a very flexible roster they've put together.
They're the team that in a lot of ways was defining the meta. Fudge, showcasing the power of the top lane counter picks here. In back-to-back series when they played EG, when they played 100 Thieves the first time around, was showcasing that you cannot just blind pick these champions that people were doing in the league. He was punishing it with the Camille, he was punishing it with the Fiora, and really did, I think, set the bar for what we want from these aggressive picks.
They'll, of course, remain on home soil for Worlds itself. We'll see him as Pool 1. But first up, we get to hear from them themselves. The Tigers will be talking with all of Cloud9, but we are starting off with the man who finally claimed his Cloud9 crown. Take it away with Jensen.
What a moment for Cloud9. A moment for all of the fans that have supported you here today. Jensen, I had to speak to you first. This is your first title with Cloud9, third overall. Considering your history with the organization, the tumultuous journey you faced just this year, what does this mean to you?
Oh man, this whole thing is pretty crazy. Having a split off and then coming back to C9 and then winning it all was not something I could imagine happening. So I'm really happy that I was finally able to win with C9 because it was something I tried for so long and failed for so many years, and finally did it.
And what a fashion to do it in. A 3-0 here today, faster than the last time you faced off against this team. What was it about you and the rest of the squad that allowed you to dominate in such a way?
I think we just complement each other very well when it comes to how we want to play the game. We're very selfless when we need to be, and yeah, I think we kind of just figured out how to play together as a team, and I think right now we all kind of know how we want to play the game, and it seems like the stars kind of align, and it helps a lot that it's like a very AD-centered meta, and we have Berserker, so that helps too.
I do have one more thing to down upon your crown to officially make you a champion. But you are more than just an LCS champion. The world record holder for number of Worlds appearances. That's the next step. I know you've had time to think about it, but how does that compound the moment you're experiencing now?
Yeah, it reminds me I'm getting old. Going to my 8th World Championship, that's a lot. But yeah, I'm just super excited to start practicing for Worlds, and especially with this squad, I think everything is going really well for us. So I'm hyped for Worlds.
There was such a loud cheer specifically for you. Jensen from the crowd, what would you like to say to them watching?
Thank you guys so much for supporting us, especially everyone that came out here. We could hear the chants while we were playing, and it was fucking crazy. So thank you guys so much for all coming out.
Thank you, Jensen, for putting your heart on the stage today. I'll let you rejoin your team for some celebration and take this mic off of you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask a couple of your teammates to join me. I'm looking for Berserker, I'm looking for Zven. A pretty tall boy in the crowd, should be easy to find. There he is.
Sorry, what?
I was just saying you're tall, man.
Oh, yeah. No shit.
Zven, you have already won titles in multiple regions. Now you've won titles in multiple roles. What is that like here, having done so as a support?
Support is just so easy. It's...
Some words from Aframu, but are you sure it's not just you and the way that you were able to play today?
Yeah, I'm sure. Trust me, I'm sure. I have a psychopath in the jungler, and I have a really good AD carry with good mechanics. So I realize I do whatever it takes. I pick Lulu and I pick Yuumi. I say, go guys, you got this. I press E. It's not pretty, but the job gets done this way.
I'm gonna ask you to share the mic with Berserker right now. Berserker,
Okay.
So early in your career, you won a title today.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Really happy now, and to be honest, kind of bored. Yeah, kind of boring.
Why was it boring?
Huh?
Why was it boring?
I don't know, just kind of easy.
On that note of how easy it felt, Zven, you talked in multiple interviews leading to this moment of, I joined this team because this is the team I believed in for Worlds. That's why I role swapped. In your opinion, we just heard some words from Jensen. What do you think is so strong about this squad?
What do you say?
What do you think is so strong about this squad? Why are they such Worlds contenders, you and your teammates?
I mean, like I said, we have a psychopath in the jungle, and we have a Sumer in the AD carry role. And that's the best thing in this meta right now, where it's encounter meta and stuff. I think we have the most flexible champion pools, so I don't know, we win every draft because Word's better.
Was this enough to keep you in support?
What?
Was this enough to keep you in support?
Not gonna lie, I didn't know if I was gonna play support next year and stuff like that, but I said I was gonna be fine if we made Worlds. Then we made Worlds, then we made Finals, and I was like, okay, not too bad. And then now we won Finals 3-0, I'm like full of dopamine, so I'm not gonna say anything stupid, but I always said we'll see what happens at Worlds, and we'll see what happens at Worlds.
We will see. Berserker, what was it like playing in front of this crowd? What was it like with everyone watching you?
First, like people loud, is when I care, people really loud, so I'm really happy. But if I die, people saying loud, but today, not happen, so I'm really happy.
A lot of good, a lot of loud. Thank you, congratulations. I have two more of your teammates to hear from. Once again, transferring the mic. You can rejoin your team. All right, boys. Come on down. Oh my goodness. Blaber, Fudge. Last time we were here, there was no one in the audience. It was a whole different vibe. What was this like here today for you?
I'm really happy to be able to win in front of a crowd. Every time I've played in front of a crowd, I've kind of gotten really murdered, I would say, in all of my matches. 2018, then Worlds 2019. I haven't really had the best performance in front of a crowd, so I'm really happy we were able to take this win today.
Speaking of performance, everyone was talking about how much you smashed it. Why were you popping off so hard?
I think we are just better in every role. And, you know, it's really easy to play jungle when your mid laner is up, like under his tower, your bot lane is winning lane in every matchup. So I'm really grateful for my teammates, and I'm just glad we were able to pull off the team fights this game and all their games and be able to win.
You did have a great mid laner here today. Fudge, you spent some time in the mid lane this season.
Indeed.
Let's talk a bit about your journey. What 2022 was like for you? How do you feel that impacts now, being that Cloud9 and yourself went through so much?
Yeah, in 2021, generally we were considered a pretty good team, and honestly it was my rookie year, so I didn't have a lot of expectations upon myself. But coming into 2022, I had a lot of expectations, and when I played mid lane, we fell flat and we lost. And that's why coming into Summer Split, I felt like I sort of had a chip on my shoulder and I needed to prove something. And I guess looking at us now, we sort of did prove something. We proved that we're the best team. And seemingly, it's not even close.
You proved this in so many ways. I mean, one of the big points in this victory, the champ pools that the both of you have, so much flexibility. Fudge, how much of that is you two as players always wanting to challenge yourself to grow versus the team really encouraging you to be those pillars in that way?
Well, I think Blaber actually does a pretty good job of pushing his teammates. Always is the main voice in draft. He always talks the most in draft meeting, and he's sort of annoying, honestly. But I think he pushes all of us to learn way more champions every single week. So I'm really happy with how Blaber's been doing, especially in terms of preparation, and I think that's helped us a lot. Obviously, our drafts are just really easy because we're just better and we can play all champs.
We hear a lot about the voice that you have, Blaber, and being someone where they all want to follow your calls, follow you through, or maybe sometimes put a little bit of a leash on you and wrangle you back. Do you feel like the team let you unleash today and supported the way that you wanted to play the game?
Yeah, I'm really grateful to have the teammates that I have. You know, my whole career basically. They
just the emotion of it all.
I just want to thank my teammates and, you know, all the fans. Just thank you all very much, and I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you so much, Blaber. As we bask in this moment, Fudge, last words for the fans on Cloud9's behalf, on your behalf, being such a vocal voice.
I told you so.
The Cloud9 believers rewarded here today. What a series we have enjoyed. It is time to continue our conversation on the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, the Tigress. Emotions pouring out onto the stage for Blaber and the rest of Cloud9 as they complete the only sweep of this postseason in the second fastest time for a best of 5 in LCS history. Pure dominance from our 5 seed. Also, the lowest seed to ever win in LCS finals. They have shirked every expectation, every doubter. Fudge said it. I told you so, and he kept his promise.
So historic this finals was. The first summer finals win for Cloud9 since their first all the way back in 2013. The first one for Jensen on Cloud9 after so many finals appearances with them. There's just so many little bits to this win for them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think watching Blaber, of all people, you said it off camera, Mark, I'm gonna steal what you said, is that, like, watching him, who's usually so, like, chill, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's actually very calm when he's in interviews. He's, like, not like, stoic, but yeah, to see him, like, tear up at how receptive the crowd was and how well he played, that was a really, really great moment.
It's been a long time to be on the stage like this, to get that kind of feeling. Just seeing them celebrate this moment is really special. Take a look at this.
Zven has won in 2 regions and now on 2 different roles.
Yeah.
The only thing he cares about is winning. Winning in front of a crowd means that much more, and he's gotten to do it, and so deserving of it.
This team was and is dominant. They were dominant throughout the playoffs. There are only 3 series that didn't go 5 games. Sure is the TL Fly one, but it was C9 versus Evil Geniuses, the Seed 1 team. And then this series, of course, C9 versus 100 Thieves, and then this series, again, making it clear that they were the best team in this league.
And I think the coolest thing, obviously this man has a lot to do with it, is Zven role swapping. The support is so easy, Lion, great. But also, this is an AD carry meta, right? This is a bot-focused meta.
Yeah.
Berserker is a phenomenal AD carry trainee. People were talking about him when he was on T1 coming up. And I think the way the team plays around him and facilitates him, and then additionally, Berserker himself frontlining just reminds me of all of the like 2015 Juggernaut comps where you would just be frontlining as your AD carry and get buffed. It was great.
That last fight where he was at 100 health or lower, like last 20, 30 seconds of it was just absolutely insane. Just dishing out the Sivir blade. Like, yeah, this team is stacked top to bottom. Every position feels incredible.
Yeah, even the words that he had. Take a look at him making his round.
Woo!
Everybody
That's a zoomer. That's a zoomer.
He's
right
going
there.
fast. The camera can't catch up to him. Where is he?
He's too fast. Yeah!
Oh my god, I'm afraid he's
I know. I'm like, oh, please.
That little light.
We don't need any. Yeah. But again, so deserved, and what a rock star he's been.
So remember the words he said. He's kind of bored in the series. This is the most exciting part. He is so insane, man. I love the fact that he was able to get that chance on C9 in this region, in the LCS, and he showed the region and soon the world his performance.
And that man there, Jack.
Yes.
As well, we can't forget Jack, right? This is a guy, this is an organization that time and time again have been questioned about their process, have been questioned about the systems in place, and time again, he finds a way to disprove all the doubters.
Credit is where credit is due.
Making a finals every single year.
Yeah.
Every year.
In the LCS. And like you said, making unpopular moves. There's been a number of players that Jack, at the right moment, has said, I think there's another route we can go that will help us more in the long term. It doesn't always, there's a meme. C9 lost the offseason.
Yep.
It's a meme in the community because he does the unpopular move, and at the end of the year, there they are in the finals again, making worlds again.
Especially the crazy moves where you're like, okay, you just made the decision to not have your MVP of Spring Split.
Yep.
And you can say very clearly after this series, Fudge, MVP in the top lane of the playoffs. He was the best top laner, the most flexible top laner. And you can go down the line, kind of like what the players said, that they were the best players in every position, and they made it clear.
Well, you talk about going down the line. Let's stroll down memory lane by refreshing the 3 games that took place in this series. Let's kick off game number 1. What do you guys even recall from that? I'm still trying to shake off the way the Sivir was playing in that third and final game. It was the Malphite into the cannon.
I mean, this was a game where obviously Blaber was making a lot of early map movements towards his lane, while 100 Thieves was actually taking the objective. So for me, it's still, we talked about it on the desk after game 1, it really does still come down to that third Drake fight, right? Where you're like just a little behind in itemization where 100 Thieves comp wants to go. They fight it. Whippo kind of said it on desk where he felt like that was where 100 Thieves are like, we win this fight, and they don't. And then C9 just take over the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what makes Cloud9 so good, though, is it feels like every single person can basically be a carry. You know, in this game, you have the Nocturne locked in, double AP soul laners, and they execute so well in team fights. It was a team that, when constructed, everyone kind of saw the potential that this roster had on paper, and now in the finals, really showing it off.
Game-defining moment right here. We broke it down post-game, but landing a massive cannon ult onto 3 helps push Cloud9 over the edge.
100%. We'll see it throughout the series. Is Cloud9 on different looks. This wasn't a very early game look. This is a fight that they needed to win to be able to win this game, and they did that. And then you see them going towards later on in the series, Zilean and more scaling options, and that's what makes this team scary, is that at some point you're going to be aware of the picks that they're going to go for, but they are so damn good on them.
I love that you bring that up, because I want everybody to like imprint that team comp into your brain, because when we flip to game 2, if we were to wipe the nameplates clean, you'd probably not believe that it's the same team, considering the adjustments that were made throughout the series. And we heard Fudge and we heard Blaber talking about it. They think that they've got the best player in every role, but not only that, they've got the deepest champion pool in every role. So they have so many different places they can go to try and find an answer strategically.
Yeah, I mean, name people who are performing better than them elsewhere. You know, like, is any top playing better than Fudge? No. Jungler, Blaber, right now, no. And so top to bottom, I think you could really make that case, especially with the champion pool diversity like you're talking about, when you can see in game 2 how much they can swap their drafts around depending on what the enemy is doing and what side of the map they're playing on.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs is just a completely different element. You're playing in a best of 5. You're tested in different ways. I love that in an interview that Fudge was talking about Blaber and how he challenges them in drafts meetings to just play different things, right? Because it's ultimately going to be really helpful during the regular season when they're playing different picks, very much similar to this. Sure, Neela, we didn't see it in this series, but we saw it during the regular season and the playoffs. And what we saw eventually here, as you can tell, the Zilean and the Jax counter to the Fiora. Now, it didn't do too well in lane because it did get the gank in the early skirmishes that fell behind. But the Zilean was the most impactful champion in this game.
So even more than game one, this was a game for Blaber for me, right? Because this is where you're relying on Blaber with that Wukong jungle sped up by the Yuumi, that combo. We've talked about it so many times in the LCS. And then on top of that, he also has a Zilean. So like if he is going in, the rest of the team is following. This, I believe, is the team fight where the game kind of turns around like decidedly in their favor. And you can see just how difficult it is to fight against getting healed up and sped up by Yuumi, the Zilean. Like everyone just kind of stays alive. And for me, it really does start with Blaber on that Wukong.
I'm just looking at Zven. What are you talking about? You heard him in the
press
interview.
E.
He pressed E, he pressed R, he sat around, he might jump off them once every now and then. Support's so easy, dude.
I mean, let's not forget, though, this was a game that 100 Thieves was leading in. So it did take a couple of those kind of comeback fights, those interesting angles for Cloud9. But we've heard it said, we'll say it again, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and that's what happened in this game.
Yeah, you're talking about the angles, specifically from Blaber in that red pit, flashing over the wall, finding the pick on FBI that really got this game going in the opposite direction towards Cloud9. And then from that point forward is just absurd for 100 Thieves. They were just getting rolled over.
That's a supreme display of cat mechanics right there. I hope you all are taking note.
Never seen a Yuumi like that before.
Never seen a Yuumi like that. That's a 3-0 Yuumi right there. That's a championship-winning Yuumi.
Muscles on muscles.
By the way, can we talk about how sweet the LCS Championship drip looks? These guys look fantastic.
They're looking good.
And those jackets. Here we go to game number 3. People might forget that this started with a crazy level 1 in the red jungle, and then found a way to sort of even out a little bit before once again Cloud9 comes over the top.
Yeah,
with the hammer.
Thieves had done an okay job of getting some kills onto Ssumday. There was a lot of attention into the top lane. He had, I believe, 3 kills at one point. It felt like if there were a couple team fights where he could have got his ultimate off and procced it, there was one near the dragon fight. Here he used it on a target who was about to die anyway, so didn't get that much extra true damage from it. There's these situations where C9 were able to outplay 100 Thieves in what was a scrappy third game before they kind of ran away with it as soon as they got a foothold in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult kind of execution on 100 Thieves comp. Absolutely. They wanted to be able to get the wall down from Taliyah with the burst if they were able to get Poppy knocked into the wall. But then if that person is literally Zilean ulted, you needed to disengage, and oftentimes when the disengage was necessary, they were just getting killed. So yeah, it was really close, but it kind of is another example of how damn good Cloud9's team fighting is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we return to what we were talking about at top of show with where we thought 100 Thieves were going to have the edge, C9 was actually coming out ahead in these 5v5 fights. And that's where I do want to continue to touch on Berserker, right? And how, like, obviously the rest of the team around him, super strong, but then he just goes into these fights. He does not mind frontlining. Yeah. He knows the rest of the team has his back. It's almost like Blaber, but on AD carry with the same kind of initiation sense, right? Like, he is going in. When he decides to end the game, it ends.
That's what's so funny was Sven's interview, and he was just like, he's the cheerleader for both his psychopath jungler and his really good AD in Berserker.
Yes, I mean, 1 health. For how long here? Like, what is going on? Yeah. The confidence of this young player on a final stage to lunge forward like that and just completely end it. I know we talked about how the 24-minute mark was the point where 100 Thieves usually turns it on. None of these games went any later than 28 minutes, so you didn't give them much room to breathe when it came to stepping up against them. What a beautiful shot of our LCS champions. That's Cloud9 right there. But I know that a number of you have been waiting on bated breath for this next piece of information. Our player of the series for the finals here in summer 2022 goes to none other than the young AD carry in Berserker. He only died 1 time across 3 games, and you heard Sven say it, there are 2 roles that are important in this meta, but when it comes to the team fighting, the late game, and getting that damage out, it's all about Berserker.
What an evolution for him over the course of this year. He was a late game bomb the entire year, but added the early game into the mix during this playoff run. You heard Vulcan complimenting his laning phase with Zven, and ends the year the finals MVP in his rookie year.
Yeah, I remember in the upper bracket, he really had the lane diff versus FBI and even losing matchups to scale. This was the same case in this series. and just being able to see him play really well within the lane and then transfer that outside of the lane. He is a fresh, budding AD carry who is ready to go into Worlds.
And yeah, I'm so glad you brought up Worlds, because that's exactly where I was going to go next, is that this is and is looking to continue going into the World Championship, a very AD carry dominant meta. The bot side of the map is very, very important. Dragon stacking is very, very important. Using that Herald to get gold on your AD carry somehow, whether you're cross-mapping it or you're saving it for them, is very important. And the way that C9 play around Berserker and what he does for them, repaying them tenfold in these team fights, is a good look for them.
Yeah, I love spotlights, but a lot of the times when it comes to something as dominant as this, where it comes to team play, it kind of sucks that you can't give it to multiple people, right?
A 3-0 is always, and multiple people are going to end up deserving it.
Yeah, you heard the fans, obviously, when Blaber and Fudge are out there, very behind Blaber and what he was able to get done for the squad today. You said it, 3-0s, man. And sometimes are the toughest series, right, to make that call.
Yeah, because it's not going to go down to a single moment where one player made the clutch play. It's not going to come down to one player overperforming. The entire team has to step up, and obviously multiple members kind of deserve that nod, but we only get one award to hand out.
Only one, and Berserker picks it up. We got about 3 minutes to go until we start to get some information about the World's Draw Show. For those of you who don't know, stay tuned, because that takes place right here on this stage in just a few minutes' time. We got to talk about the fact that Cloud9, right? Normally the ones who have to play through the plays, they're the 1 seed for us.
Yeah, so there is the group draw for the play-in stage first, then the main stage. Here's my dark timeline that I want.
Why are you presenting the dark timeline? Why?
Yuma Yushi versus Berserker. The rematch, it's possible. It can get drawn that way.
That's a light
C9 versus
timeline. I like that
T1.
timeline.
I am obsessed with that idea of finding out if T1 made the right choice in letting Berserker go to C9.
Be honest with me, did you even look at any other options?
No, that's my
that was his one timeline.
That's what I want. All right, it's got to be that. I mean, it is going to be very interesting to see how this team, handles one going in as 1 seed, but also the idea that Worlds is right here in North America, right? It was 2016 Worlds actually in the Chicago Theater that Cloud9 was able to get through the quarterfinals and extend. Like, maybe there's some magic when it comes to this city.
Maybe, and also just magic when it comes to Cloud9, no matter what seed, mostly 3rd seed, that they're able to really turn it up when it comes to Worlds. LaTigris kind of mentioned it when we were going through that interview, the fact that they took down a FLICKR Phreaks and went to semis, I think it was 2018. So I want to see kind of that magic rekindle. It's about time for some NA hopium.
It's doomed for C9 though, because they don't get their play-in buff. We were talking to
true.
about, like, is this a good thing for you? No, the fact that you won in finals, now you don't get that little ramp-up period.
I'm not gonna lie, it's no longer ramp-up period. Once we get into it,
is legit.
It's a little dangerous.
Yeah,
there's a lot of dangerous.
Very scary teams. I'm taking a look at it right now just to see what the pool is we'll be pulling from. You got teams like Royal Never Give Up, DRX, Fnatic, Mad Lions. Oh my
5
goodness.
major region teams.
Yes.
4 spots to get out right now, and that's not including how you want to classify, PCS and things like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
C9 coming in first, though, does mean they don't have to face JD Gaming, Genji, or Rogue. The other 3
We take that.
Here, let me just ask you guys a simple question.
Okay.
No.
Are you confident in our 1 seed after that display?
Yes!
Absolutely.
100%.
What does confident mean?
Yeah, that's actually the question I was going to follow
Winning
up with.
Worlds, duh.
But you know what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there. Go. We'll start from winning Worlds and we'll work backwards until you say yes.
Until you say
winning
Worlds.
Okay, so it's like, I'm
Winning
not
Worlds.
confident.
Say yes. You're supposed to say yes. That was how it worked.
I'm honest.
Oh, Lord.
There it
Okay,
is.
Raz, I want to play the game with you. Do we win Worlds?
I'm honest. Why are you asking this question? But we're honest individuals. All right, Mark, give us the answer we all
Hell
want.
yeah!
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 Woo! Let's go. Oh, my God.
I got a cheer.
Yes,
I can't
there
believe
we
it.
go.
Oh, my
Come on,
God.
United Center. All righty. Well, that's all for us for the moment. We will be back with LCS champion Fudge to share our thoughts after the first stage of the 2022 Worlds Draw Show. So let's make sure we get down to that stage. Let's kick things off here. Let's find out what we're working with when we get to Worlds 2022.
Welcome, everyone, to the United Center in Chicago, home of the LCS Championship and our 2022 Worlds Draw Show. Now, for the first time since 2016, Worlds is returning to North America with a four-city showcase of the best NA has to offer. From the brilliance of Mexico City to the concrete jungle of NYC, we are thrilled to be reunited with fans for every single stage of Worlds. Now, once Atlanta gives a warm Southern welcome to our semifinal stage, we will have a year of premier competition culminating in San Francisco, crowning a new global champion in front of an ocean of fans. With our region's representatives locked in, it's almost time to dive into our draw show. But before we do that, here's a reminder on how everything's gonna break down.
The time has come. The greatest esport competition in the world is finally here. It's time for the one and only Worlds. 24 teams will face off in 3 stages: play-ins, groups, and knockouts. Play-ins will feature 12 teams hungry to reach groups. The first-seeded teams from Brazil's CB LOL, Japan's LJL, Oceania's LCO, Latin America's LLA, and Turkey's TCL. The second-seeded teams from Southeast Asia's PCS and Vietnam's VCS. The third-seeded teams from North America's LCS and Europe's LEC. And the fourth-seeded teams from the LEC, China's LPL, and Korea's LCK. They'll be drawn into 2 groups of 6, and each team will play 1 game against every other team in their group. The top team in each group will advance. 3rd and 4th place teams will play a best of 5, with the winners challenging the other group's 2nd seed for the last 2 spots. The group stage will bring 12 new competitors to the arena. The top 3-seeded teams from Korea's LCK and China's LPL. The top 2-seeded teams from Europe's LEC and North America's LCS. And the top-seeded teams from Southeast Asia's PCS and Vietnam's VCS, alongside the 4 play-in qualifiers. These teams will be split into 4 groups, with each playing against every other team in their group twice. The top 2 teams in each group will advance to the knockout stage. The remaining 8 teams will compete in a best-of-5 single elimination bracket, progressing through the quarterfinals and semifinals. The last 2 teams standing will play a best-of-5 series in the grand finale, where the winner will be crowned the one and only world champions.
Joining us today are some of NA's legends. First up, the Rock in the top lane and a TSM icon. Everybody welcome Dyrus. Dyrus, you have had so many moments across your lengthy career to create memories on the international stage. When looking back, what moment stands out to you most?
My most favorite moment was in Season 4. TSM was possibly at their worst, not expected to win at all. We made a miracle run, and my favorite moment was everything about it. We got a new coach, we had Lustboy. LMQ came to America as a full Chinese team, and we beat them.
It sounds like a lot of people in this audience also have that memory.
That run was my most favorite because it wasn't just the win for ourselves, but it was also for NA.
Which is why we are so happy to have you on the stage with us today. We do have 2 more legends joining us as well. Next up, the legendary C9 shot caller, who ain't afraid to go pro to pro. It's High. Hi, you are still heavily involved as the LCS as our pro correspondent. What about you when looking back as a competitor? What stands out in your mind?
I think I have 2 memories that stand out really well to me. Number 1 is when we first qualified into the LCS. I put a lot of effort to get into there, and it made it so that me dropping out of college was a good thing. I don't recommend it to everyone out there. Don't drop out of college to play League, but that was one of my best memories. And the second one was, I believe we beat Najin Shield at Worlds, and that's where that famous picture of me hugging Meteos is. That was a really good time for me as well.
I'm sure that picture is printed on someone's wall somewhere.
Yeah.
And finally, the most decorated jungler in NA history. It's Xmithy. Xmithy, you have brought so many teams across the finish line. What comes to mind, the moment above them all?
I think the most memorable international tournament I had was probably my first MSI run with CLG. Especially a game against RNG. We were pretty behind and we still came back from it. And yeah, even though we went 0-3 against SKT at the finals, I think it was still a pretty fun series.
We are all about stirring up the nostalgia on the stage here today. I'm looking forward to the work you perform here in this draw. Soon enough, we'll be getting to the action specifically. But here is a look at all of the teams that are going to be in the play-in portion of this draw. So from these pools that you see, we will draw 2 teams into each of the groups. Now, it's important to note, in the case that teams are drawn from a group that already contains a representative from the region, or in the event that the draw could cause future invalid draws, they will instead be added to the next group in which they are eligible for. Additionally, the competitive operations team has an update to share regarding this rule. In the scenario where both LEC 3rd and 4th seeded teams advance to the group stage, the 4th seeded team will not be subject to this rule. They will be allowed to be drawn into a group with another EU team. In the scenario where either of the LEC teams is eliminated from the competition during the play-in stage, the rule will remain in place. All clear? All is said and done? I know it's been a while since you have been on this stage to put your hands to work mechanically, but I'm going to ask you to put them hands to work in a very different fashion here today. First up, we have pool number 1. Dyrus, go ahead and draw our first team. The greatest challenge we have seen to date. And who do we have? Oh, Fnatic from the LEC. Fnatic battled their place into Group 1 here today through a lower bracket gauntlet, mirroring their 2021 journey to Worlds and continuing their storied legacy in Europe. With a star-studded lineup including names like LEC champion Humanoid and dominant bot lane duo Hylissang and Upset, Fnatic are ready to take on the world once more. We've gotten ourselves started here in Group A today with the LEC. Dyrus, are you ready for our second draw?
Oh, again? Okay.
We're top loading it with you. DRX reigning from the LCK coming into Group B today. Now DRX made their first Worlds appearance in 2 years and did so in dramatic fashion, winning consecutive 5-game wars in the Korean Championship. Now DRX is led by Captain Deft, who brings his Worlds Deft swag to the international tournament for the 7th time. And this team is more than ready to take on any opponent they find in Group B.
Oh my god. That was weird. You're stronger than me.
Asking you to exhibit that strength once more. It's a true workout today.
Why is this so hard? I thought this was the most... Oh my
Beyond Gaming coming in for the PCS in Group A. Now, Beyond Gaming completed an undeniable miracle run to clinch their spot here in Group. Finishing 6th place in both spring and summer, they managed to stay alive in the standings and won a 5-game series against domestic titans PSG Talon in the lower brackets. Finals of the PCS were quite a wonder to watch. Now, Wacko and Beyond Gaming are hungry to prove themselves again at Worlds, especially to their opponents here in Group A. I know there's not much mystery around our last name, but still, the formality. RNG from the LPL slotting into Group B. And you know, you can never count out Royal Never Give Up. Despite struggles in summer, RNG punched their tickets to Worlds with the help of top laner Breathe, who slotted in after their 2022 MSI win and worked wonders to refresh this roster. With 3 MSI titles to their name, RNG have known glory before, and they'll hunt for it again, looking to add more global gold in their trophy case, starting in Group B. Our groups are starting to take some shape. You get to rest those hands now. Hi, it's time to put you to work. Go ahead and draw from pool number 2. A fan favorite in Detonation Focus Me here going into Group A. Now, Detonation Focus Me, they explode into Group A as the back-to-back-to-back-to-back LJL champs. And undisputed gods of their region. With a 9-year tenure on this team, ADC Yudapon continues to be the cornerstone of this roster. And with longtime fixtures Evie and Steel, they create a solid foundation for former LCK players Harp and Yaharong, and the next era of record-breaking performances for DFM at Worlds. All right, Hi, up for the next one. Saigon Buffalo coming into Group B. Now in 2022, the world eagerly anticipated the return of the VCS, and the Saigon Buffalo more than delivered. After almost taking down 2-time reigning MSI champs RNG, SGB returned back to their region to battle for their spot in this group. Now with surprising picks from Froggy and a coach that bets everything on his players time and time again, this roster is ready to take on the world once more. We are halfway through the group. The fans are definitely looking out for one team in particular. Let's see who you draw. Mad Lions from the LEC moving to Group B. Despite a slow start in spring, Mad Lions roared back to life in summer with the addition of mid laner Niski to claim their spot in this Group B, and their 3rd consecutive Worlds appearance. These lead performances took them to knockout stage during Worlds last year, and the Lions are looking to go even further in 2022. And as a reminder, this team is going into Group B because Fnatic is already slotted into Group A. Last team. Of the LCS joining Group A. Now this team led by support mastermind Vulcan and world champion Impact, Evil Geniuses ooze talent. Mid lane protege Jojo Pion is unafraid to face every region's so-called GOAT, and with the first ever double major region regular season MVP inspired by his side, Evil Geniuses are a devilish addition to Group A. Good work, High. Appreciate your hands. Time for pool number 3. Xmithy, you up for the task?
You guys make it look so easy.
First from pool 3, it's Loud going into Group A. Now in only their second year in League of Legends, CBLOL top seed Loud have fought their way to the international stage for the first time. Led by CBLOL veterans Robo and Tinones and their Rookie of the Year, AD carry Brance, Loud is hoping to make some noise in NA for Worlds. They face stiff competition in this group, but they know they've got the support of all Brazilian fans. Azael for Loud. We're getting close to the end here for our play-ins. Let's find out who our second team is. The Istanbul Wildcats are slotted into Group B. Now, 4 straight seasons of the same starting 5 has brought the Istanbul Wildcats to their second consecutive global event and their first ever appearance on the world stage. And keep an eye out for team leader Holy Phoenix and his aggressive play style as he looks to claw the cats out of groups. This team definitely has a lot of crowd behind them, looking to make a statement in the play-in stage. We still have 2 more teams. Xmithy, let's find out who the next is. We have Chiefs Esports Club going into Group A. Now you want dominance? Look no further than Chiefs Esports Club. The LCO champs only lost 1 game all split. I mean, 1 game! And that was in the summer finals. I mean, mid laner Taliyah makes his 3rd Worlds appearance in a row, having previously represented Legacy Esports and Peace, and now looks to fly even higher with Chiefs in this group. Now Razor Koalas and Kiwis for Chiefs Esports Club. 1 more to draw before we let you stop down. Oh. We have Isurus going into Group B from LLA. Now, Isurus made their way to Worlds with a regional record, becoming the first LLA team to win 3 league titles. Now, mid laner Seiya may be the most beloved player in the LLA and is leading his team on their first foray into international play. It's thumbs up all around, baby, for the LLA champs Isurus. Welcome to play-ins. As you can see on your screen, all of the play-ins have been decided. The groups are settled. We are going to take a moment to reset and ready ourselves for the group draw.
Well, there you have it. All 12 of our teams drawn into the play-in stage for 2022 Worlds. Initial reactions, my friends.
Good job, NA drawers, putting NA in Group A.
Thank you,
Definitely
High.
not scripted. High and Dyrus built a group of death in Group B, and they made sure not to put us in it.
Yeah, let's walk through why NA fans would be happy with this, given the way that the group stage or the play-in stage actually plays out.
Yeah, so obviously Group B has the 2 4 seeds from LCK and LPL. RNG, who are the current reigning MSI title holders, they did obviously kind of take a little bit of a backseat towards some other teams in the LPL this past split. However, they were the final team to come through the bracket. I thought it was kind of cool to see, like, the MSI team coming back to the world stage. So they have a really formidable squad. I do want to call out their top laner, Breathe, because people might remember Bin from MSI. I think Breathe is really talented. He's been waiting to go to Worlds for a really long time, came up through OMG, was then on WE, BLG, and then now RNG. So they're a really formidable team. So don't let that's why this group is like so ridiculously stacked, it seems. It's just because we're expecting DRX and RNG to perform well.
Saigon struggled more in summer, but they also attended MSI. You also have Mad Lions, who again had the rough best of 5s this year, but are a very good best of 1 team. So Group B is very scary. For Group A, if you're a North American fan, the important part is you don't need to win your group necessarily, but there's the knockout stage afterwards where 3 and 4 from opposite groups or play each other and then play the number 2 from the opposite group. So there are more opportunities to get out alive without having to bump into a DRX or an RNG in a best of 5 series.
Yeah, and this is pretty dangerous. I mean, when we look towards Evil Geniuses and Mad Lions, 2 teams that actually had 4 players each hit all-pro first teams, and of course fizzled out when it came to the actual playoffs itself. More credit, of course, to Evil Genius, who was at the final stage just yesterday. But the main thing is that those teams can definitely use this boot camp time to like come back stronger for this stage. Another shout out to Chiefs Esports Club that has been one of the dominant teams in Oceania for a very long time. Historic. You'll remember the names of Swiper, Swiffer, and of course like Spooks and all that, Reindeer as well. Like those are teams, those are players that tried to be on this stage at Worlds multiple times and they got blocked when it came to, at that time there was the IWCQ, but now are here with players like Raze and Tally, who were actually out in North America and came back towards the LCO just to be able to find themselves in this position again.
And there's this long history now of North America versus LCO. They've played each other in so many international competitions now in a row. Fnatic at the same time, they have to be feeling very happy if you're a European fan of Fnatic. This is a group that I would expect them to go #1 in. Not that they won't go completely uncontested and maybe drop a game, but they are heavy favorites, I think, looking at this lineup.
And also just shout out to Deft, who had a monstrous performance. Like DRX did really damn well. It went to a full 5-game series versus Live Sandbox. That was an amazing gauntlet run that happened there. So like there are so many individual stories for these teams in their own regions to get them to this place that now you have to fear them.
Yeah, it was really cool to see Deft re-qualify on DRX. Obviously, my personal heart is crushed.
Yeah.
Because I had to go through KT to get there.
Oh God, the KT fan in
you signed up for it.
Was so sad. Oh my God, guys, I still relive it in my mind. You know, close my eyes, just all of their losses.
One day, one day, KT's gonna do it for you, Emily.
A member who used to be on KT is Deft. Came up all the way back through the Samsung system. He's been just a legacy AD carry, honestly, in League of Legends as a whole. And it was cool to see them have their bracket run because I actually fully expected, and a lot of the other casters over in the LCK were kind of fully expected Live Sandbox with like Prince, who's this, you know, AD carry that they've been playing around with really, really well. We're kind of expecting them to make it. That's also the team that Summit came from, if anyone remembers that. So yeah, it was a little bit surprising, I think, to see DRX pull through, but it's always great to see Deft back on the world stage.
Yeah, and question to you guys, because there's just so many storylines here, is like, did we end up talking about Beyond Gaming? Because Beyond Gaming as a team is just,
No, wait, no,
okay, perfect, because it's like a new legacy in the PCS region. The fact that people kind of expected PSG Talon to be here for how dominant they've been for so long. But then Beyond Gaming and Flying Oyster is the one that ended up making it here. So I really want to be able to see what Beyond Gaming has to offer in play-ins.
Love that you call it a newcomer. I'll just reference Dead FM because we haven't touched on them just yet. Evie making it back.
the
Oh
thumbs
my
up,
goodness,
man.
they're always
More thumbs
finding
up
a way
to come.
back onto the world stage
Also
to see if they
the
can
top
surprise
player.
us in play-ins. As you can see, we're all set up here for the second part of our draw show. We're going to dive back down on the stage, hand things over to LaTigris to see how the group draw plays out.
Welcome back to the 2022 Worlds Draw Show. It is time for our teams to be drawn in their entirety, slotted into groups A, B, C, and D, and awaiting their opponents that make it through play-ins. Now, our pool #1 features the top seeds from our major regions in the LPL, LCK, LEC, and LCS. Pool #2 consists of the second-seeded teams from the LPL, LCK, and LEC, as well as the first seed from the PCS. And Pool 3 rounds out the competition with the 3rd seeds from the LPL and the LCK, as well as the 2nd seed from the LCS and the 1st seed from VCS. I hope that was enough of a break for you all to warm your fingers up once again. Dyrus, you're up. Let's go ahead and get this draw going. Nice, nice. The delicacy. Cloud9, baby. Riding the ship after a rocky spring, the rebuilt roster of Cloud9 has defied expectations to become NA's second, all the champs and everything that they have done to claim this spot. Mid laner Jensen steps onto the world stage for a global record 8 straight years in a row, joined by jungler and Cloud9 crown jewel Blaber, role swap support Zven, making a deadly bot duo with rookie ADC Berserker, and they are primed to rise to the occasion at Worlds. What a way to kick things off here. Let's go for the second one. We got. All right, we have JDG here going into Group B here from the LPL. What a story that they have had coming into this stage at this point in time, fighting their best for this portion in Worlds. The top-seeded JD Gaming is only the 3rd team to win both Spring and Summer Splits in the region. Led by mid laner Yagao and jungler Kanavi, this team is as aggressive as they get, always looking for picks and always finding them. Little can stand in the way of these juggernauts, except perhaps their rivals in top esports, but before they face off once more, JD Gaming must take down their competition. Let's go for it. Next one. Rogue of the LEC going into Group C. Now the rise of Rogue has been swift and consistent with strong regular season showings and back-to-back Worlds appearances. Despite losing 2 of their stronger players after 2021, Rogue returned with an even more dominant lineup, thanks to the additions of Amalrang and Comp, making Rogue poised to wreak havoc. This means Rogue is in Group C. We have one more team to draw from our first pool, who's going into Group D. Gen G coming on through into Group D. Now all Gen G knows is success. A roster carefully cultivated, regional superstars claim the LCK title for the first time in the org's history, ending the reign of giants before them. Now so much experience on Gen G, from former world champion Ruler to Chovy, who is making his 4th straight Worlds appearance. We haven't even talked about Peanut yet. You know, the LCK Finals MVP. GG's to everyone else, and welcome Gen G to Group B. Dyrus, your duties are officially done, but you can remain with us in your position as we continue here with our draw. High's got us covered with our second pool here. Are you ready? Let's go. 2-1 going into Group A. After an undefeated spring season in the LCK, T1 returned in summer and is back on the international scene. This team is built on legends from FLICKR in mid, Zeus up top, and coaches Bengi and Sky. The MSI runner-ups are looking to add more hardware to their 2022 mantle, and that road begins in Group A. Group A is starting to take a little bit of shape. Let's find out who's next from our second pool. Top Esports moving to Group C. Now, though they are the LPL second seed, Top Esports was actually the first team to qualify for Worlds from the region. Now, the duo of Knight and Jackie Love are the core of this team, and World 2019 Finals MVP Tien still dominates the Rift. After a year of competition in one of the fiercest regions, a refined Top Esports is ready to take on the world. And as a reminder, they are moved to Group C because they cannot join a group with their existing region. Let's go for the next one. G2 Esports coming into Group B. Now, after missing out on Worlds last year, one of Europe's most storied orgs, G2, is making their return to the global stage. Claps is online and locked in, leading his team to back-to-back LEC finals and finally here in Group B. Now, joined by legend and longtime teammate Jankos and Caps are all of G2. They're all so eager to remind the world of what EU is made of. One more team to be drawn here from our second pool. Flying Oyster coming into Group D, now joining the PCS only this year. Flying Oyster has already claimed their first title. Top laner Rest has waited 3 years to return to the global stage, with many members from Flying Oyster waiting their fair share of time to return to the limelight. Now, rookie Shun, however, finds himself at Worlds in his debut year. And as his team looks to continue their historic success, please welcome all of Flying Oyster to Group D. That concludes our second pool of teams here for the group stage. One more pool to draw from while we have these legends on the stage. Xmithy, close us out. Bring us our first team. Damwon Kia from the LCK moving to Group B. Now, in a region defined by global dominance, Damwon Kia have made their legacy as LCK's first team to make 4 consecutive Worlds appearances. While Damwon has rotated between top lane monster rookie Birdall and veteran Nuguri, Showmaker is in top form, and every member is eager to redeem themselves on the global stage and reclaim their World Championship title. Another team moved due to regional conflicts. Let's see how much of a prophecy this crowd has with their cheers. Edward Gaming coming into Group A. The champs are in the building. Edward Gaming returns with the same roster that won Worlds just last year and are looking to go back-to-back in 2022. Legendary support Mako leads a balanced attack that includes teamfight studs Viper and Scout. We'll see if our reigning champs can run it back and claim another Worlds title. Two more teams remaining. Let's find out. GAM Esports for Group C. Now with smooth tower dives and a storied history, GAM Esports is eager to reunite with fans all around the world and represent the continued strength of the VCS. Jungler Levi has something extra to prove as he returns to North America and competes on the same turf as his former Org 100 Thieves. And with the team as in sync and celebrated as GAM Esports behind him, he's sure to find success. They go into Group C. Only one team remaining. I wonder who it is. Hundred Thieves, looking to pull off their most ambitious heist yet. 100 Thieves enter Group D as a fierce force to be reckoned with. Brawl of the Jungle Closer has helped lead his team to 3 consecutive finals and back-to-back Worlds appearances. With the strength of one of the greatest LCS top laners of all time in Ssumday, 100 Thieves are eager to steal their way out of Group D. If you take a look, you can see exactly what the group stage is gonna look like once they are joined by the remaining teams. Thank you again to our legends of the LCS for joining us and helping us with this draw show. This does mean that our draw show is officially completed with our groups decided. Our 12 play-in teams will kick things off on September 29th. The top 4 from play-ins having an opportunity to make it through NYC and a chance at semifinals in Atlanta before we crown new global gods on November 5th. Thank you so much for joining us in Chicago for our 2022 Worlds Draw Show. We'll see you in just a few weeks in Mexico City. But until then, good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.
Well, there you have it. The World's 2022 group stage draw is complete. And while we stand here and absorb this for just a moment, I want to let people know that we've brought none other than C9 Fudge onto the desk to get his very initial reactions to Cloud9's draw. You're the 1 seed in Group A, but you're staring down the likes of T1 and EDG. Fudge, what's your initial reaction?
Well, Jensen brought up a good point that apparently last time C9 was in groups against T1 and EDG, we made it out. So I look forward to doing that again.
That's the kind of confidence I like to hear coming out of our LCS champions. When it comes to the rest of the groups, I mean, just in general, the teams that have qualified for Worlds. Part of our conversation around the play-ins as well was how much kind of the level seems to have risen, and even those play-in teams who sneak into your groups, they're going to be threats.
And honestly, it was kind of funny. We were watching the play-in draw, and then Jensen was like, "Which group are we in?" Because he thought it was the main group draw, and it was kind of funny. But honestly, for the most part, I don't really think that the teams from play-ins, especially the major region teams, are actually that different from their counterparts who are already in the main group stage. I think everyone's really, really good that goes to Worlds, and everyone's going to be very, very prepared, and that's the most important part. So we are going to have to prepare very well as well.
Absolutely. Let me expand the conversation now to the 3 of my analysts. Any thoughts on these groups?
So I had called for C9 versus T1.
You got it.
Because I wanted Gumayusi versus Berserker. Have you guys talked at all? Is that a rivalry or not? I'm making it up in my head.
I mean, I'm sure it's a huge rivalry. Berserker has a huge ego, honestly. And he obviously is playing against Gumayusi, who's considered like one of the best ADs in the world, right? And
studied under him.
I would also, exactly, he played under him, right? And I would consider Berserker probably our best player right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does and how Zven and him both do against their bot lane. It's going to be obviously really difficult because T1 is an extremely good team. But it's going to be fun, especially when we win.
You know what's really funny? I look at the Gen G group, at least Group D. It's going to be really hard for 100 Thieves. We'll just see which team ends up slotting into that one. But I remember back in Golden Guardians walking into the room and, like, I swear, relentlessly FBI would just be watching Ruler VODs. And now he's going to be playing against them in person. That one's going to be tough. I'm interested in seeing how that group will go. Another one that kind of shot to my mind is, you know, G2 versus Damwon Gaming. That kind of rivalry existed. I know that G2 changed quite a bit, but just being able to see Jankos go up against Canyon is going to be a really fun one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that group is pretty tough considering.
Yeah.
I mean, Taliyah, Kia, I know they did have some shaky parts to the season. There's been some interesting swapping between Nuguri and Bertle, but I think Nuguri, interesting. It'll be good to see him with Taliyah, Kia back at the World Championship, and then JDG, if I can talk about them for a little bit, 369, who you might know from previously on TES, thank you, is the top laner for JD Gaming. The big like mid-jungle duo that you want to watch out for is Knavi, and then Yagao, who's really stepped up. He, in my opinion, has had shaky performances throughout the year. And yeah, I mean, JDG are a really fun team to watch, so I hope people enjoy watching them.
I know people's eyes naturally go towards the most competitive teams and the teams that people are waiting for all the time, but just a celebration to Gigabyte Marines that finally get to go to an international event through COVID times, and then of course even being the first seed going into MSI, not getting that chance, playing in Southeast Asian Games, the Olympic affiliate, and now finally get to be at an international. Don't want to jinx it, but I'm just saying.
Please have the speakers come through.
Please, because it would be really nice to just see that team and Levi.
You can't cross the line of jinxing something.
I know. The moment I was saying it, I was like, okay, please.
Doing them dirty
we hate
like
Raz for a reason, guys.
Raz was the most incorrect on the finals.
Yeah,
like
voted for 100 Thieves.
Good. I also went FlyQuest in that series versus TSM.
What do you got for me, Mark?
So I have a question for you. Do you think you guys have the hardest group, or do you think it's maybe Group B right now?
I think it's the G2 JDG Damwon.
Yeah.
It's probably the hardest group, honestly.
Okay.
When I watch 369, I think he's probably the best top laner in the world. So I'm pretty happy that I don't get to verse him.
You get to scrim against him now.
Right. I can
That's
scrim against him.
actually
Good practice.
dope. That's actually very, very dope. I do also just, sorry.
I was going to ask one more question.
Go for it.
Who do you want in your group? I don't know if you know exactly for play-ins, but is there someone you want to call to join you guys? You could get an EU team.
I look forward to versing the Chiefs from the LCO in our group.
They gonna run it?
I'm pretty good friends with all of them, so hopefully I can verse them. Don't think they're gonna make it through, but
no, I like that. It's like EG get the 1 seed out, right, and then Chiefs 2nd seed over Fnatic 3. I like it. There it is. I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
Going to be fishing any information from Coach Babbitt?
Yeah, he already messaged me to hang out. He's already in LA, so.
Oh, there it is.
Nice. There you go.
Real quick, too, I just want to recognize the LEC's 1 seed, Rogue. They dominated in their series today, and so I think that's something that needs to be talked about. You already mentioned Gigabyte Marines, who are going to be in their group, but top esports as well. I think they've got pretty solid prospects without knowing who that 4th team will be in their group.
Yeah, that team is insane. I feel like we've seen these players multiple times in finals, and they are always so close and always just one team fight away, and then they fizzle out. But the individual players, you already just go to Knight and Jackie Love, just demons. And so I'm excited for that one, especially just a shout out to Rogue. The fact that they finally won that championship, Odwamne earlier on, just like tearing up. It was a big moment, and so now it's going to be a pretty damn good competition in Group C.
So, Fudge, my final question to you is just going to be about the draw of the other NA teams. You are the one person who's actually gotten to play against them. I know that you guys feel you're definitively a step above the rest, but when you take a look at the competition your NA brethren have to face, what are your thoughts?
If I'm being honest, I don't really think any other NA team will perform well at Worlds. C9, as it always has been, will be the best team from NA.
The hope is always.
And we will be the hopium. And we're going to try to fulfill that hopium, I guess.
Worlds is here in North America.
Of
That's
course.
pretty dope.
The support will be amazing.
Any particular city that you're
honestly
inclined to play at?
I really wanted to go to Toronto, but now there's
The easy answer is San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco. San Francisco will be fun, you know,
Yeah.
especially when we're playing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right.
I mean, every city will be fun, right?
Well, there you have it. We're not going to dwell on the groups too long. We got a whole month and a half when Worlds rolls around to talk about all these teams. Fudge, I just want to congratulate you one more time on such a dominant series, man. It's been quite a treat to watch your roster, this squad, this organization over the year overcome so much adversity and ultimately bring it in such dominant fashion. So congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
All right, all. That's it for us here in Chicago and in the United Center. So on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire broadcast crew, I want to thank you so much for watching 10 whole years, a decade of the LCS, and we capped it off in spectacular fashion. We'll see you in spring for more LCS. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, be good to each other. Good night.
Hello and welcome to the opening game of LCS Playoff Summer 2022.
This is where the fun begins.
He's going for it! What's the ignite on? No flash, the safety pillar is on. Johnson barely alive with a charm. Bjergsen keeps it going. They will knock down FlyQuest in the fastest game of the series.
I will look back in here.
Oh, he's flashing. He flashes the wall. He slams him back in.
Very nice game.
Fifth and final game of the Best of 5 series is always about experience.
Berserker! And Berserker goes berserk to finish the series.
I think if TSM win, they're gonna win through Spica.
He's kind of the engine around which the rest of the team functions.
Under the tower, knocks him up, stuns him down, first blood.
You want this box?
Give me the box.
All right, now we're all ready. We're boxed up. Game 5, elimination match.
TSM, clip the wings of FlyQuest.
CLG Golden Guardians lose and go home until 2023. Rogers to the chase, gets the pillar, will take him down. Sivir falls.
Was a hard-fought victory, but CLG do it in game number 5.
Does Closer actually elevate during playoffs? He does.
Oh, Closer did it again! How does he do it? Every single time! Evil Geniuses and Cloud9 fighting for a spot at the World Championship. Berserker not stunned to get one back out of Impact. He's gonna find his own double. He can get them all! 4 in a row for Berserker. C9 are back, baby! Sending ET to the lower bracket.
So much road ahead for these teams if they want to win the LCS.
He needs another hit though! You gotta be kidding me! Big freaking Dokes!
CLG, they need to win one of the next 3 to eliminate Team Liquid.
2 for nothing, and Team Liquid coming alive in game 3. Grand hit runs from the Bjergsen Zilean arrives. Team Liquid reverse sweep CLG and stay alive.
I'm starting to wonder why the heck we're even here, because I don't know how to make sense of what's happening in this LCS postseason.
Yeah! It's game 5! One of these teams is going home!
Get me vision on thing, I can steal it.
Wait, how? Oh, nice! Computer steals Cloud Soul!
JoJo is refusing to go home.
Evil geniuses continue their dreams of going to Worlds!
I'll have to try to end, I guess.
Yeah, try.
They're running.
They get a bit of poke. He needs 5 more autos. Gets the last one! Cloud9 from 5th seed to final boss! This is it. Whichever team wins here, they get to go to Chicago. They get to go to Worlds. As EG continue to dive forward. JoJo's into the station. Impact wants his man. And he finds him. Hans is out of the picture. Santorin about to die next. And now Twippo will fall too. The champions will return to battle for their title again. And they have booked a ticket to Chicago.
we've kind of been written off. People assume that we'll go down to other teams, I'm sure.
I just wanted to wait till the big stage and knock them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago! These are the moments I live for. It's time for the semifinals! JoJo will drop first blood on Abbedagge.
What big stuff from their Academy AD carry. Called up to the LCS semifinals.
Every single loser's bracket game this playoffs have gone to 5 games.
An Emperor leads from the front, and Abbedagge found the angle. Vengeance is mine, say it to Thieves, and they're going to the finals.
I think last time was C9, we definitely had a really, really bad day.
It's going to be a totally different series this time.
Championship! Here's the dive, shuffled out, still hit 3, and Jensen kills Abbedagge. Cloud9 in for more. Jensen will not die, Blaber will stopwatch. A trade 2 for 1. Huhi flashing out. Jensen gets to 3rd, and Cloud9 are not done. They're hungry. Berserker wants more, and he serves up 2 for Jensen. That could be game 1. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Cloud9 might be sending 100 Thieves home early, a 28-minute victory, 1-0 so far. Dives in for more, Huhi kills off Jensen. Is the re-engage enough though? As Ssumday is low, he flashes, but he still drops, and Cloud9 are fighting back. FBI dies again. Closer dies again. Cloud9 see anyone, and they just see food. Cloud9 looking for the 3-0. Let's see it. Here comes Blaber. He's going to see everyone in his eye. A quick tackle for Closer. Buys some time. FBI is untouched. Abbedagge wants back in, though. Huhi flashed to safety. Fudge pops off. He sets up 2.
Let's go, C9.
Looking for their 4th title, the 3rd in as many years. Now the engage is on to Ssumday. Buys a 2nd, and that's all he'll get. They trade back. Berserker's on to the Nexus Towers. Cloud9, the most dominant team in the LCS, have won their 4th title. You ask fans, which team would you most like to send to Worlds? Everyone unbiased says it's Cloud9. The best international team is Cloud9. Who do you send to Worlds? You send Cloud9. For the first time since 2013, they head to Worlds as LCS champions.